There's a rule in modern warfare that generals have worshipped since the dawn of the industrial age. It is the rule of mass. The rule states that volume overcomes precision. That quantity has a quality all its own. If you have more tanks, more artillery, and more bodies than the enemy, you do not need to be better. You just need to be louder. You need to be heavier. You need to be an unstoppable tide that drowns the opposition in fire and steel. By 1939, the Soviet Union is the embodiment of this rule. The Red Army is a colossus. It possesses the largest artillery park in the world. It has millions of men. It has thousands of tanks. When Joseph Stalin looks at the map of Finland, he does not see a threat. He sees a speed bump. He sees a minor bureaucratic correction to the border. The Soviet doctrine is simple. Advance. Saturate the grid square with high explosives until nothing living remains. Then march over the ashes. You do not fight the Red Army with a rifle. You do not fight a hurricane with a needle. The conventional wisdom of 1939 dictates that the individual soldier is obsolete. He is merely a unit of currency, spent to buy ground. One man cannot hold a line. One man cannot stop a company. And certainly, one man cannot terrorize an entire division. For decades, military experts believed that the sniper was a relic of a slower time. They believed that in the age of the machine gun and the creeping barrage, the lone marksman was a nuisance, not a strategic asset. But in the frozen forest of Kala, in the winter of 1939, the Soviet Union is about to learn that their rule is wrong. They are about to discover that in the right hands, a simple bolt-action rifle, forged of wood and iron, is more dangerous than a tank. They are about to learn that mass does not equal safety. Because in December 1939, one Finnish farmer decides to go hunting, and he is about to change the definition of fear. Enter Simo Häyhä. He does not look like a god of war. He stands 5 feet, 3 inches tall. He is mild-mannered, quiet, and unassuming. Before the war, he is a farmer and a hunter in the municipality of Rajärvi. He spends his days working the land and his weekends shooting in the civil guard, collecting trophies for his marksmanship. He is 33 years old. He is not a professional soldier in the traditional sense. He is a man of the woods. But look closer at his equipment. It tells you everything you need to know about the difference between a soldier and a hunter. He carries an M/28-30 Mosin-Nagant. It is a Finnish modification of the standard Russian infantry rifle. But Simo's rifle is different. It has no telescopic sight. Most snipers rely on optics. They need magnification to see the enemy. But scopes are flaws. They fog up in the cold. They require the shooter to raise his head higher, exposing himself to return fire. Worst of all, the glass lens reflects sunlight, creating a glint that gives away the sniper's position. Simo refuses a scope. He uses iron sights. Simple metal notches. This means he has to get closer. It means he has to trust his eyes. It means he intends to remain invisible. The context of his war is a nightmare. On November 30th, 1939, the Soviet Union invades Finland. They bring 500,000 men across the border. The Finns are outnumbered nearly 100 to 1 in some sectors. They have almost no tanks. They have almost no anti-tank guns. The battlefield is the Kala River. It is a landscape of dense pine forests and frozen waterways. And the temperature is dropping. It is minus 20 degrees Celsius. Then minus 30. Then minus 40. At minus 40, oil freezes. Skin dies in minutes. Metal becomes so cold that if you touch it with a bare hand, it will strip the flesh from your palm. The Soviet Ninth Army is pushing hard. They are road-bound, moving in massive columns, confident in their numbers. They expect the Finns to break. They expect a quick victory. But the Finns have a saying, Sisu. It translates loosely to guts, but it means more than that. It means a white-knuckle determination to continue fighting when failure is a mathematical certainty. Simo Häyhä is deployed to the front lines. He is given a simple order. Hold. He packs his rucksack. He takes his rifle. He takes a submachine gun for close encounters. And he walks into the wideout. He is not fighting for glory. He is fighting because the enemy is on his land. The Red Army believes they are fighting a nation. They do not realize they are walking into a cage with the deadliest predator in human history. Imagine you are Simo Häyhä. It is 2 hours before dawn. The world is a monochromatic void of gray and white. The temperature is 35 degrees below zero. You are lying in a snowbank, wrapped in a white camouflage cape. You are not just hiding in the snow. You have become the snow. You have spent the last hour preparing your position. This is the difference between a shooter and a hunter. A shooter just lies down. A hunter scopes his environment. You have packed the snow down hard in front of your barrel. Why? Because when a high-powered rifle fires, the muzzle blast creates a pressure wave. If the snow is loose, that wave will kick up a puff of white powder. That puff is a shoot here sign for every Soviet machine gunner in the sector. So you pack it down, ice hard. You have poured water on the snow in front of the muzzle to freeze it solid. You have taken a mouthful of snow, and you are holding it in your mouth. You do not swallow it. You let it sit there, numbing your tongue, freezing your palate. Why? Because warm breath creates steam in the cold air. Steam is movement. Movement is death. The snow in your mouth cools your breath, so that when you exhale, nothing comes out. You are invisible. You are silent. You are waiting. 400 meters away, the Soviet lines are waking up. You can hear them. They are loud. They are cold. They are miserable. They are lighting fires, stomping their feet, clanging pot lids. They have no discipline because they do not think anyone can touch them from this distance without heavy artillery. Through the notch of your rear sight, you scan the tree line. You see movement. A political officer. He is wearing a long greatcoat. He is waving his arms, shouting orders at a group of conscripts. He feels safe. You calculate the variables instantly. Distance, 350 meters. Wind, slight cross breeze from the left. Target movement, erratic. You do not think about the politics of the war. You do not think about Stalin or Mannerheim. You think about the front sight post. You centered on the officer's chest. You exhale. No steam. Your finger applies pressure to the trigger. 2 pounds. 3 pounds. Crack. The sound of the Mosin-Nagant is sharp, like a whip. Downrange, the officer drops mid-sentence. He is dead before he hits the ground. The conscripts freeze. They look around, confused. Where did it come from? There is no flash, no smoke, no sound of second shot. You do not celebrate. You do not move. You cycle the bolt. Click-clack. You wait. Panic begins to set in among the Soviets. They start firing wildly into the woods. Machine guns rake the trees 500 meters to your left. Mortars pound an empty hill to your right. You lay perfectly still. You are a statue. This is the daily reality of Simo Häyhä. For 98 days he does this. He operates during the few hours of daylight, which in the Finnish winter is barely 4 or 5 hours. His kill count begins to climb. 10, 20, 50. The Soviets realize they have a problem. At first, they think it's a team of snipers. Then they think it's a myth. But the bodies are real. One day, you are tracking a Russian sniper. The enemy has realized that the White Death, belly is smirked, is out there. They have sent their own marksmen to hunt you. This is the ultimate test. Sniper versus sniper. You know he is there. You saw the birds fly up from a tree cluster an hour ago. He is watching, waiting for you to make a mistake. The sun is beginning to set. The shadows are getting long. The cold is seeping through your wool layers, trying to stop your heart. But you have Sisu. You can outweight him. You scan the horizon. There, a glint, just a tiny flash of light, a reflection. He is using a scope. The low angle of the winter sun has hit his lens. He is looking for you, but he has given himself away. You shift your rifle. Micro adjustments. You align the iron sights. You aim for the glint. He is 450 meters away. A difficult shot with iron sights. A tiny target. You hold your breath. Crack. The glint disappears. The Soviet sniper falls backward. The hunter becomes the prey. But it isn't just the sniping. It's the psychological domination. On December 21st, 1939, Simo Häyhä records his highest single-day count, 25 kills. Think about that. 25 men in one day. And when the Soviets get too close, when they try to rush his position in a human wave, Simo puts down the bolt-action rifle and picks up a Suomi KP/-31 submachine gun. Now the game changes. Now he is spraying 9mm rounds at 900 rounds per minute. He is a one-man defensive line. He cuts them down in the snow, reloading, firing, relocating, firing again. The Soviets bring in artillery. They barrage entire sectors of the forest just to kill him. They shell empty woods. They send patrols of ski troops with the sole mission of finding the White Death. They find nothing but empty snow and their own dead. He is a ghost. He strikes from the left, then the right. He never uses the same position twice in a row. He knows the terrain better than they know their own names. But the law of averages is cruel. Even a ghost can bleed. Mid-roll CTA. If you find this kind of hidden history and tactical genius as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage and impossible odds deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. March 6, 1940. The war is nearing its end. The Soviets have launched a massive offensive. They are throwing everything they have at the Kala line. Simo is in the thick of it. He has just surpassed 500 confirmed kills. He is fighting alongside a group of Finnish infantry. The air is thick with bullets. The noise is deafening. Suddenly, a Soviet soldier spots him. Not a sniper, just a regular infantryman with an exploding bullet loaded in his rifle. He fires. The bullet strikes Simo in the jaw. It is a devastating wound. The round explodes on impact. It shatters his lower jaw, tears off his left cheek, and crushes the bone. Simo falls. The snow around him turns red. He is unconscious. His fellow soldiers drag him back to the lines. They look at his face and later report that half his head was missing. They place him in a pile of bodies. They think he is dead. But Simo Häyhä does not die. His heart is still beating. A faint, stubborn rhythm in the cold. He is thrown onto a sled with the wounded. He is in a coma. He hovers between life and death for a week. The Soviets have finally stopped the gun of the White Death, but they have not killed the man. What the Soviets didn't know was the damage was already done. Simo Häyhä was not just removing soldiers from the battlefield. He was dismantling the mind of the Red Army. Imagine the morale of a Soviet unit moving through those woods. Every step is a gamble. Every tree trunk could be him. Officers stripped off their rank insignia because they knew they were the primary targets. Deserters spoke of the invisible Finn. The Ninth Army was paralyzed by fear. Columns would halt for hours because a scout thought he saw movement. Artillery was wasted on phantoms. Tactically, Simo proved that the Soviet doctrine of mass was flawed. He forced the Red Army to change how they operated in winter. He forced them to respect the individual marksman. Because of men like Simo, the phrase Kala holds became a rallying cry for the entire Finnish nation. A small group of Finns, inspired by his lethality, held off tens of thousands of Soviets for months. Simo accounted for 505 confirmed sniper kills and over 200 more with his submachine gun. That is over 700 enemy soldiers removed from the board by one man. To put that in perspective, Simo Häyhä, a single farmer, inflicted more casualties on the Red Army than entire battalions of other nations. He woke up from his coma on March 13, 1940. The day he opened his eyes was the day the Winter War ended. Peace had been declared. The Soviets had taken land, yes, but they had paid a blood price that shocked the world. For every dead Finn, 5 Soviets lay in the snow. The Red Army had learned a terrifying lesson. You can have all the tanks in the world. You can have all the artillery. But if you walk into the woods of Finland, the snow itself will start shooting at you. Simo Häyhä returned home. His face was permanently disfigured. He underwent 26 surgeries to reconstruct his jaw. The bone was grafted from his hip. He lived with constant pain. But he did not complain. He did not boast. He returned to his farm. He went back to hunting moose. He lived a quiet life, far away from the fame that the world tried to thrust upon him. He lived to be 96 years old. Years later, a reporter asked him the question that everyone wanted to know. They asked him, "What did you feel when you pulled the trigger? What did you feel when you killed all those men?" Simo didn't talk about hatred. He didn't talk about glory. He didn't talk about patriotism. He looked at the reporter and said simply, "The recoil, it is a chilling practical answer." But then he added, "I only did my duty and what I was told to do as well as I could." Today, the legend of the White Death is studied in every sniper school in the world. From a U.S. Marine Corps to British SAS, his techniques, the snow in the mouth, the iron sights, the patience, are the Bible of marksmanship. But his true legacy isn't the number 505. His legacy is the proof that the human spirit, when defending at home, is the most dangerous weapon on earth. He proved that one man, with enough skill and enough sisu, can make an empire tremble. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state, and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Simo Häyhä and the men of the Collar Front do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered